choice. Who you hear, the people's voice. It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows reign, your truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies both take a mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Will you hear the people's voice? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one.
Evening, everybody, and tonight these are your Wellington City Mayoral candidates who have decided to put their feet to the It's in the Ballot via. But with every election, there's one thing stepping in their way, and that is your vote. And good evening, everybody, and welcome to It's in the Ballot for the Wellington Mayoral debate. We're coming here live from the Khandallah Town Hall here on a good Friday evening, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic night. I'm going through there. So, everyone having a fantastic night? We've got a big cheers from the audience. Thank you for that. And we've got our lovely Tena Kabushia, Linda McGregor, who's joining us today, who's on for the second round of presenting for today. Okay, so with every election, let's sit there and kick with the first candidates. Let's kick up with Pennywise with your 1 minute opening statement.
I am Pennywise, the rewilding clown. You want the audit where we're getting back to the basics of rewilding our fair setting. If you want a fornicate where we are getting some common sense back and daylighting our owl, bringing back extinct species and using them part of an exciting new public transport network, then this clown, Pennywise, is the clown for you. If you want a fornicate where you can't walk out your door without fear of tripping over a key or treading on a fruitcake or being hit by a who bursting out of the bushes at you, then Pennywise is the clown for you. Kia ora koutou.
Kia ora.
Thank you. Thank you. There was it Pennywise. Next up, Josh. Your opening statements on why you should become the next mayor of Wellington.
I'm running for better weather. You know, just look outside today. The weather in Wellington is terrible. We need good weather so that we can get back to the basics that really matter. As mayor, I will erect massive sails at both ends of Wellington that'll catch the wind and that'll send it to Upper Hutt down into the Cook Strait where it belongs. As mayor, I will build a giant umbrella over the city to catch the rain so that we don't have to deal with it. As mayor, I will mandate optimism in the city council so that we don't have any of these negative Nancys and negative Neils ruining the city. It can be positivity all the time, constantly, enforced by the fun police. And as mayor, I will build a lazy river down Courtney Place so you don't have to catch the bus to work. You don't have to walk to work. You can float to work down our lovely Courtney Place lazy river. So ultimately, I'm one of the few serious candidates running in this election. So if you want a serious city with a highly serious future, with the silly hat party, doing whatever you want, whenever you want it, vote for me. Thank you.
Sounds a bit like I might be getting soaked if I want to head down to Courtney Place, but that's all good. Next up, we've got Joan, who probably will make sure my clothes are dry when I head to Courtney Place.
Hi everyone, I'm Joan Shi. Because English is my third language, so I will stick to my note so you can understand what I'm talking about. So I'm an immigrant. My children and I have enjoyed 13 wonderful years living in Wellington. While I don't regret that I chose Wellington as my children's hometown, I don't think Wellington heading in the right direction. That's the main reason That's the main reason I'm seeking the law to change the direction of Wellington. My focus will be prioritize council spending towards core infrastructure and essential service for the community, especially repairing leaking pipes, providing better and affordable public transportation, and nurturing a business-friendly environment. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Joan. And next up, we've got Kelvin, who's probably going to get rid of the rats from my suburb of Newtown.
Kia ora, everyone. I think I'm the only candidate who was here 3 years ago, so that's pretty scary. A lot's happened in the last 3 years. I think I set up here 3 years ago and said, let's get Wellington moving. We managed to do that, thanks to the new government. And it still cost $200 million for ratepayers and tax, and I think we got one set of lights and a roundabout. But it was still a success that we've had. Since then, I've been campaigning for Begonia House, which we managed to save, Khandallah Pool, which we managed to save. I think we've pretty much got agreement now on saving the City to Sea Bridge. So I think we're making good progress, and we've just got to stop council spending lots of money on lots of silly projects that aren't necessary, so then ratepayers aren't getting bashed like they have been for the last 3 triennium really now. So I know everyone's feeling a bit tired. I know I'm feeling a bit tired, but I'm back here 3 years later to give it another go. So thank you, vote for me.
And I'm very sure Carl is going to sit there and try and bribe me with some dairy-free gelato. So let's kick off with Carl.
Hey, I'm Carl Tiefenbacher. I'm born and bred Wellingtonian. I had an 18-year career in the financial markets before starting Cafe Ice 21 years ago. So I have a business experience for the last 21 years. The reason I'm standing is simply because Wellington is becoming unaffordable. It's becoming unaffordable to live. It's becoming unaffordable to do business in. And we're in a really dangerous spot whereby we've got zero growth, and there is no way that we will not get out of that unless we change the direction we're on in council. We need to be a lot more financially prudent with the money we spend. We need to make sure we respect ratepayers' money, and we need to bring the confidence back to the city. Without that, our city is going to carry on in a backward spiral. So we need vibrancy, confidence, and pride in our city, and that'll come from having good integrity and transparency within the council.
Thanks for that, Carl. Next up, Alex, who's probably going to be the best to help me fill out my IR10s. Is that right?
Almost certainly not.
Oh, not? No.
Carl's the small business owner. He probably knows how to do it.
Probably do the better job of that. Oh,
Like
you know.
RD form. Tēnā koutou katoa, te whare tūnei tēnā koe, te papa e waho tēnā koe, ko Alex Baker, tōku ingoa. I'm running for Mayor of Wellington because never in history has austerity led to growth, and that's all I'm hearing from the other serious candidates. I can deliver the sustainable, positive outcomes that Wellingtonians want, and I can put the financial discipline in place at Wellington Council to make sure we can afford it. Thank you.
And coming in remotely from all the way from the 6021 postcode, we've got Don. Can you please come on in, Don, and tell us why you should become the next Mayor of Wellington?
Hello, about Donald McDonald, Tōku Ingoa my name, or Mac Done Waiting. Please vote Donald, Mayor Wellington and Southern Ward General. The Bible says ending times is here. Go to heaven if I do the God commandments. Jesus coming soon. You might get his reward, some of you. Update the last great disaster earthquake. New covenant Passover protection. My strengths, I am zero honest, as you know, like everyone. You can't do better than that. The next council will equal me. I am expert. Compare large numbers. RTL raw, 8 letters. Describe details. Let's face it, society government is all about greedy me. Your houses and cars, poverty, gamble and alcohol. The time waster. Noisy means trouble hearing. Don communities, I stand for log, job, fix answer, do the right, honest, timely, succinct. Proper sign off by a senior, but nothing. They didn't do our job. Don 8 times, while council never gave a clear answer. They refused. OIA, they refused. Donald straight talk. Don't assume. How's my time going? Challenge, want backwards growth. Petrol, cars and electric, all end. The roads will be wiping out pedestrians. Phone allowance for age 16. Reasonable talk, text, data, participate. The calendar is hopeless. So easy for our child. Donald, 5 weeks times 6 days. How we going?
Oh, you're nearly there, Don. So wrap it up.
Carry on. I will solve the puzzle Sudoku. Phone me, 845 900. Go, Donald McDunn. Thank to coming Mother God, Spirit and Bride, Water of Life. There's the Bible for you. I believe the Bible. No mistake, no mistake. Author Don McDonald. I think I've used up more than 1 minute. But
yeah, I know. We need to get moving on now, Don. Okay. Thanks for that. And I think the mysterious mute key was pressed. No? Oh, okay. No, that's all good. Yep. Okay. So let's get to the box questions here. So we've got 28 boxes there. Candidates are going to sit down there and pick what box number they would like on to sit there and do, and then the candidates have to sit down there and answer the question that's in the box. Now, each candidate gets 2 button cards and they get 1 defer card. We encourage them to use their button cards when someone else gets the question they want to answer. And we do have the defer card. Now, we don't really encourage that. That's a souvenir they should be leaving with because we actually want them to answer the questions. But they could use it if it's a little bit too difficult to answer. But they were given the questions in advance, so hopefully they've done their research. So let's bring up our random order sheet, and Joan, you get to go first. What box number do you fancy?
1 to 28, darling. Pick 1 to 28. Sorry?
28.
28?
So what's good or lucky about number 28?
Oh, I like A and 6 because I'm Chinese.
Ah.
Okay, this is, so what we do is they don't know what question they're going to be asked, even though they've got access to all the questions, and it's randomly picked, and it's why. Question, why?
So why for Yankee?
Yeah. Would you like to say that? Would you like me to say that? Oh, I will.
Yes.
Auckland Council has recently shifted to taking away recycling bins of people who mix general waste with their recycling. Should Wellington City Council consider removing recycling bins for doing the same thing?
Yes, if the issue repeats, remove the bins because otherwise it make the recycle stuff
Look into the camera, darling.
life harder. Thank you.
Okay, that's short, sharp, and sweet. Okay. Next up, Carl, what box number?
5.
Question 5. Oh, here we go. Here we
Please.
go. Okay. No, that's the same thing. That's the same question. Yeah, pick another one, darling. It's a double up.
You sure? Because I got the answer.
Pardon? No, sorry about that. My bad. Okay, Fitu. Oh, right. Okay. That's A, Sammy. A. Okay. What political party are you linked to?
That's really easy, and it's going to be really short because I'm not linked to anyone. I'm independent. I don't think we should have any political party interference in local government. Yeah, so that's a pretty easy one. 100% independent.
100% independent. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Josh, what box number?
12.
12. Okay. Te Kaumarua. Now this, Sammy, is C. Question C. Do you support the new disability bathroom complex in Taranaki Street? And why or why not?
Look, my answer to this is simple. You called it a bathroom complex. I don't believe bathrooms should be complex. No, I think it's just unnecessary. We need to have simple bathrooms. And so bathroom complexes, they just get in the way of things. And so, look, just build a simple bathroom instead, then I'll be on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, applause. Gee, these candidates answer the questions quick. Alex.
Yeah, we like it. A good game's a fast game, Sammy.
Oh,
Come
I
on,
know.
let's keep
And
it
the more
moving.
questions. So, Alex, what box number?
Here we go. Thank you. Sorry, I should move this way. And then I should also, when I ask the question, put my sponsorship card out. Radio. Newtown Market tomorrow from 7 a.m. Okay, so it is question B. Question B. What's your biggest priority for the next term and how do you intend on delivering on that?
That doesn't match up with what's on the screen.
Oh, well, it was either A or B. This is
AB.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
Okay. AB. Again, what's your biggest priority for the next term and how do you intend on delivering on that?
I mean, my biggest priority will be implementing the change to using land values as a basis for calculating rates. It's probably the number one thing that I think will be impactful in
Look at the
terms
camera,
of
darling.
generating growth for our city, because it will allow more housing to be built, which will allow housing prices to become more affordable, rents to become more affordable, which is going to attract people back into the city. It will also allow pressure to be relieved on businesses and the rents that they face in Wellington. Is it achievable? I believe it is achievable. It's been talked about around the council table before. The only reason that it wasn't implemented in the term just gone is because the council ended up pulling out of the airport sale, which meant that the staff didn't have the capacity for implementing this change.
Okay, Calvin, what box number?
Is that me?
That's you, darling.
Number 17, please.
Number 17.
So excited.
I know, a good
My
prime
mic,
number.
Can you hear me? Is my mic working?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. We got the fun part at the start.
I've got a little pile of boxes down there. It looks like my daughter's bedroom. A mess. A mess. Okay. J.
oh, Jay.
J. Okay. Spending needs to be within budget without increasing rates. What services or luxuries would you stop?
Well, we've got lots of new projects coming through which can easily be stopped, and that would be the Golden Mile project that can be paused, demolition of the City to Sea Bridge that can be paused, Those are two which will make pretty good savings. The organic waste rubbish collection, that's a good one. We can pause. I think we can all cope if our organic waste isn't collected. I know in our predator-free communities, we've learned how to trap rats. I'm sure we can all learn to compost and do community composting because I believe it'll create more emissions taking this food out to the bin, and it's definitely going to hurt your wallet, unfortunately. So we can get rid of all of those, but I'm pretty sure there's a hell of a lot more we can get rid of as well, Lynn.
Thank you. Okay, that was a
Now, Don,
comprehensive
what
list.
box number would you like to pick?
What? Don.
3.
Number 3.
Okay.
I'd like to butt in on some questions.
Okay, just type button into the chat, and then Nick will be able to tell me when to butt in on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, this is F. Okay, F, Sammy? Right. There have been much media coverage about candidates' behaviour towards their fellow candidates. What are your personal values that make you a suitable candidate to be a councillor or / mayor?
Yes. I'm talking about the second coming of Jesus. You have to do the right thing. You have to do the right thing. In these times, Passover, commands, obey the commands, and then you might go to heaven. Now, the rates is a formula. The rate is a multiplier. The rate is dollars income. The rate is dollars income. The rate means percent of value, the value pushed up. Half the population, the greedy population. Question G is a dishonest question about the rates, because there's a difference between rates and rate. One is a multiplier, and then if the value gets pushed up, you'll be paying more dollars. So that's my answer, and that could be a but.
Thank you for that, Don. Pennywise, what box number?
Here we go. Oh, gosh. Okay. G, Sammy, G.
G for golf.
Yes. Right. Wellington ratepayers have had rate hikes imposed on them of well over 30% in 2 years. Given this, what level of annual rate hikes do you think ratepayers can sustain, if any, coming over the coming 3 years?
We've had like something like apparently almost $2 billion on something. Now, what do I want to do with rates? What I want to do with rates. So $1.8 billion for waters. So under a Pennywise rewilding miracle, we're not going to need a water system. Instead, we're going to be making everyone install their own water system. You're going to have storage tanks and rainwater collections on every house. You're going to have composting toilets in every house. We're going to fuel our rewilding city. And so, therefore, you don't need $1.8 billion being spent on water. So, I'm not going to say that's going to lead to like a reduction in rates, because that's not really how it works. But maybe, possibly, but using some, dot poster style calculations, 1.8 billion divided by 10, and then you divide that by 74,000, that's about 2,500 per person. Yeah, and all we need to do is do away with running water.
Okay, we got a button from Carl. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess this is probably one of the more important questions that you guys actually want to get a serious answer to as well. I've got a commercial property out in Granada North where the rate's gone up by 30.8% just this year. So this is one of the biggest issues we actually face in Wellington. We can't afford to be putting up our rates at the rate we are currently going. The council needs to look at itself really, really carefully internally and just see what we're spending the money on, what value we're getting for the ratepayers' money on every single thing we do. And we need to make sure that we are getting the best purchasing price when we're buying stuff. There's a whole lot of savings that can be made. Obviously, there are projects like the Golden Mile, which should be stopped, cycleway projects, which should be stopped, and we need to focus on doing the basics well. But realistically, I think one of the most dangerous things for our city at the moment is the fact that we're becoming unaffordable and the rates are leading that charge, basically. If you guys don't have money in your pocket, you can't come out and spend it. So if we keep taking it off you, businesses can't survive. If businesses can't survive, we lose our vibrancy. If we lose our vibrancy, we get zero growth. What do we got? Zero growth already. We're on a downward spiral. We need to fix it. We need to fix it now. It can be fixed.
Thank you for that, Carl. And a very good button with a brilliant answer attached. So we've got another round of list here. And Alex, you get to go first. What box number?
Okey-dokey. A little pile of boxes. Okay. What is your plan? Sorry, D, Sammy. D.
So D for dinosaur.
Okay. What is your plan to address the issues with Wellington's water infrastructure?
I mean, the water infrastructure is being handed over to a new entity. The key thing for the council will be making sure that governance and leadership of that new entity have the appropriate skills and capabilities to manage the asset properly. Other key thing is going to be funding. Like historically, the funding hasn't been there to adequately invest in renewals as they're needed. So funding is going to be critical for that organisation. Prioritisation is also key. Spending money on obviously addressing the key failing pipes, but also spending money in a way that will enable uptake of the density under the new Wellington District Plan.
Thank you. We've got a button.
Oh, okay. Let's kick it off.
We've got two buttons.
Two buttons.
Butts.
Hi. So I think according to the current Wellington City Council plan, the new water entity will be set up separately from rates. It will operate like Auckland, charging residents for rates and water separately. However, I'm not sure this change will be enough to cover the cost of upgrading Wellington's aging pipes. If not, I would see to negotiate with central government for additional funding or a share of GST to support Wellington's water infrastructure. As the capital of New Zealand, Wellington deserves some love from central government. Thank you.
And now we've got the next button.
My main policy is amalgamation, so amalgamating of Porirua City Council, Lower Hutt and Upper Hutt Council. I believe it's one water entity, one council. All the problems have evolved from having too many councils, no one knowing what the Wellington Water Committee, no one having any true say, no one knowing what's going on, no one really caring, to be honest with you. So it's one council, one water authority. Pretty simple, really.
Thank you. Did we have another button? Did we have another one?
Yes.
Were you gonna...
So we'll go with Josh first, just because you're down this end and I haven't heard much from you yet.
The most important thing about Wellington's water is to fix the pipes. And I'm going to fix the pipes. How am I going to do that? Thoughts and prayers. That's the only way, and that's what I'm going to use. With enough thoughts and enough prayers, we'll be able to fix the pipes. Just trust me. Just trust me on that one. And then even if we can't fix the pipes, that's not necessarily a problem because we can use all of the burst water pipes and all of the potholes and all of the floods that come through the city to build beautiful fish ponds. And in those fish ponds, we can have chocolate fish. And those chocolate fish can provide the basis for Wellington's economy when the Silly Hat Party abolishes the New Zealand dollar and replaces it with chocolate fish. So ultimately, maybe I'll fix the pipes. You can trust me on that one. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But even if we don't, we can fill it with chocolate fish, and we can use that as the basis for Wellington's new economy in the future.
God, that sounds like there's going to be a lot of soggy chocolate fish out there. Now, Pennywise, you're going to sit down there and address this question. God, so many people using your buttons on this.
Oh God, there are traffic problems, was you're fixing them. And then they're like, oh God, you're raising my rates because you need money to fix the pipes. You jerks! Now, under Pennywise narrative, we're going to be daylighting our hour because, and this is where Pennywise campaign gets a little bit serious. We're going to be seeing massive extreme weather events. We've already seen the river, which runs underneath Cambridge Terrace, kind of erupt out and turn into a river again. And one of the beautiful parts of our plan to daylight these hour is that it's not going to cost a thing. All we need to do is stop doing what we're currently doing, stop maintaining the roads on Cambridge Terrace, stop maintaining Adelaide Road, and the river will take over. And then we'll be adapted to extreme weather events, like with the exciting plan of making the basin swamp again. And we've already seen this in Auckland and how to do it seriously, turning up like an golf course. Isn't that awesome? Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Okay, Carl, what box number?
Okay. Oh my God, this is such a long question. Okay, here we go. Well, it's a long explanation, but a short question. N.
So N for November.
Yeah.
Is that Mitch?
Do you want me to read the top bit or just the bottom bit?
It's N for November or N for
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah. Yeah, no, N for November.
Okay, just because it doesn't. Okay, I don't know why we've got the wrong graphic. Up there.
No, that's the one. What will you do to stop poor council expenditure, allocate resources to critical infrastructure, and rein in huge increases? There is a bit of explanation through there. Do you want me to read that out? In Wellington, we have a huge rate increase in the last few years at a time of a cost of living crisis and public sector cuts. Many of our council projects, such as the Old Town Hall, went from 30 million to 330 million, have been poor expenditure. Another example is the council signed up an agreement with government over social housing that cost the city another 200 million. A third example is the convention centre hasn't even covered its operating costs. Then there are the millions that were spent on the Let's Get Wellington Moving consultations and consultants, but only delivered a roundabout and a pedestrian crossing. Meanwhile, only 650 metres of water pipes were replaced last year, according to the question submitter. Do you want me to ask the question again for you? Yeah, you got this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
you
so.
got this.
So obviously we've made some really, really poor decisions over the last 10 to 15 years. We've actually indebted the city with stuff that's going to cost our future generations forever. And I think one of the most important things we can do, we can't change what we've done in the past, but what we can do is find out why it's happened. I think you learn from your mistakes in life, and I think we seem to have a real resistance to basically finding out what we did wrong so that we don't make those mistakes again. So we need better fiscal management. That's pretty much the core of everything we need within the council at the moment. That's not only on the big projects, it's also on the day-to-day expenditure. And we need to basically oversee everything we do, make sure that if we are doing a project, that we're pricing it right, that we're guaranteeing that there are processes in place to make sure that we're getting best value for money. The council's job is to take your money, spend it wisely. Unfortunately, we haven't done that in the past. We've got to make sure that we don't keep making those mistakes going forward.
Thank you very much.
And a button from Alex.
So there's no buttons here? Nobody wants to, because that was a long question.
I butted.
You got a button?
I butted. Yeah.
Hey, have you used, how many buttons have you used? You in your one or your second one?
This is my
Second
first one. Thank you very much.
No, I think it's your second. Okay, it's your first one. All right.
Yeah, it's a super interesting question. In the last 7 years, since 2017, Wellington's population has stayed the same. Hamilton's in that period has grown by 15%. Wellington City Council owns 50% more assets per ratepayer than Hamilton City Council does. And that means that we have a huge amount of capacity in the city for more ratepayers. What it also means is that the lack of growth is one of the key drivers of the high costs that ratepayers in Wellington are facing now. Council operating costs are 50% funded by user charges, and 50% charges are covered by rates. So that means that the increases in costs that we've faced divided by the lower number of ratepayers is causing every single ratepayer in Wellington to have to pay 30% more than if you lived in Hamilton. That's $1,500 per household more than you would have paid if Wellington's population had grown. So what that means is that the council needs to focus on population growth so that it can split the high costs and a large amount of assets that the council owns across more ratepayers. And that is what I'm going to be focused on.
Okay, Joan, what box number?
18. 1 8.
Sammy, that's E. Okay. Where do you see the future of Tawa Community Centre? Is this a submitted question?
Yes,
Okay.
from someone who wants it also in the Takapū North Award show as well.
I will put into the center to have a look and talk to residents so I can make up my mind. According to local news, the Tawa Community Center was first built in 1984 to serve as the now defunct Tawa Borough Council meeting chambers and was updated in 1991. However, locals say it is showing its age, has water tightness issue, and struggles to meet the needs of today's youth. The population of Tawa, Wellington is roughly 15,800 in 2024. So I will have a look. I will visit the community center and talk to the people there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Josh, what box number?
We'll go 19.
19. Here we go. W, Sammy.
So W for whiskey.
Okay. How will you restore confidence with ratepayers in this city? With the ratepayers.
I think the best way to do it is that any councillor who has a silly rates policy, any silly ideas relating to rates should be publicly shamed. Parade them down Willow Street and, throw tomatoes or something. Maybe that won't restore confidence. I don't know. But it'll make us feel better. And ultimately, that's what matters. So that's my answer.
And I'm not sure if they're going to get pounded of rotten ones or canned tomatoes or fresh tomatoes or whether they'll be
Tins of
diced or
tomatoes.
sliced or, Kelvin, what box number?
Oh, me again. Number 11, please.
11. Okay.
So excited.
I know. H. Hotel. With budgets being squeezed, what are your thoughts on devolving power and creating a super council to better direct funding to critical services?
We absolutely need a unitary authority. We need our water under one authority. We need as many councils to join together as possible. We probably have 5 town halls across the Wellington region. Do we really need 5 town halls? We probably have a lot of land that could be freed up for housing, for first home and affordable housing for first home buyers. It's just all tied up across the region. So we absolutely need a amalgamated region 100%. It's 20 years overdue. And then we can look at bringing rates down, and especially commercial rates in the city. Because at the moment, people are driving from Upper Hutt to the central city, using the services, driving all the way back, and they're paying no tax. And that's not good for our central city business owners.
And we have a button from Alex.
Kia ora. I don't think that Wellington should be prioritising amalgamating with the other councils, certainly at the moment. Like, we are all aware and familiar of the number of issues that Wellington City is facing, and I don't think that it's going to be good for us to give up the planning capacity to resolve those by going through an amalgamation process. If the region believes that there are too many councils, Upper Hutt and Lower Hutt can merge, but not Wellington. There is very limited evidence that suggests that having a larger council will actually result in cost savings. Hamilton, Christchurch is I think 3 times almost the size of Hamilton, but its operating costs per person are the same, and Hamilton has lower rates. Auckland is 3 times the size of Christchurch and is more expensive than Christchurch is. I simply don't believe that amalgamating is going to solve Wellington's problems, but it will stop us from being able to solve our own problems.
Now, Linda.
We have a button.
Oh, go ahead.
Am I allowed to butt in on my own question?
A button on your own question. It'll be a first.
You are, but it's called a butt back. You okay with that?
Butt back. I like that.
What did you say? So Christchurch have got 400,000 odd ratepayers. So if we combine the councils across the Wellington region, we'd end up about the same. So at the moment, Christchurch is really lucky because, you know, they've got this wonderful CBD. They've got they're densifying in the CBD, and we're seeing they're getting a lot more ratepayers. Wellington's running at 0 growth. 0 population growth since 2017. If anyone thinks we're going to turn this around as Wellington City Council, it's not going to happen. And on top of that, we had 4 or 5 CEOs come out from across the region just a few days ago saying amalgamation needs to be on the table, destroying them. It's going to happen. And if we don't do it ourselves, government's going to come in and do it for us.
Okay. Now, Pennywise, what box number?
Parker Tacoma Far. Can we have 14, please?
Okay, Sammy, M. Wellington has a goal to cut our annual carbon pollution by 57% by 2030. What's the single biggest action you'd take to halve the city's emissions in the next 5 years?
The single biggest action a Pennywise Mayoralty will take to halve the city's emissions is defund the roads. At the moment, Wellington City Council pours $70 million, $7,000,000 into those asphalted monstrosities every single year. Over 10 years, $700 million. And that would necessitate a successful rewilding scheme and a successful Awa Tuna project, where you will be zooming down the various Awa of Wellington on the back of a genetically engineered tuna and zooming along the flatlands of Wellington on the back of our enhanced moor. It'll be like that Pātea Māori Club album cover, but in real life. Kia ora koutou.
And we've got another button from Josh.
This is an important one, and I'll go further than 80%. Sorry, than 50%. We can cut emissions by 80% by just getting rid of Parliament.
Woo!
All we need to do is get rid of Parliament and open a hat store there instead, and we can cut Wellington's noxious emissions and all the hot air coming out by up to 80%. And that's real research done by me in my head, so you can trust it. You know, and we can go further than Parliament too. You know, we can cut emissions even further by taping councillors' mouths shut, for example. There are so many ways that we can cut emissions, and we need a mayor with the guts to do it, and a mayor who won't listen to, you know, don't do this, it's against the law. We need a mayor who will just get things done when it needs to be done. And that's what I'll do for Wellington.
Oh, I can see there's going to be some very sore lips coming if you become mayor. Now, Don, what box number? We've connected Don back in yet? Don, what box number?
I said 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know what number you've got. Any
There's a 4 there.
any low number.
There is.
Thanks for that, Don.
X, Sammy, X. As Mayor, would you consider advocating for more safe pedestrian crossings on our main arterial routes, such as Newlands Road?
Oh, I see it there. X. Okay, good. Less roads. There's too many cars. They're blocking the street, and they're parking. And when they park, I say they pay $120 voluntary, because everybody parks illegally, but they never pay anything. Ask them how much they pay. They don't collect even the bus lane. They don't collect a penny. That's a deceit from Nuriden. So less roads, double roads, and too much rubbish, waste unnecessary purchase, and too many cars per kilometres, pedestrian priority, and free vegetarian community soup, quick kai, and the kitchen. So that's my answer. We used to talk I am zero honest. All councils were minus 100 honest, minus 100 honest, and I'm zero honest. So I'm better than them. Thank you. I've done my time.
Thank you for that, Don. Let's give Don a round of applause. Okay, and we've got another list. And Joan, you get to go up first. What box number?
Do you still have 16?
16?
Yeah.
Yes. B, Sammy, B.
So what, B for Bravo?
Bravo. Okay. Will you support the Free Fares Coalition's call for free public transport funded by the central government for students under 25, community service card holders, and total mobility card holders?
I will 100% support from me. Better and more affordable public transportation is one of my top priorities. I agree with the Free Fare Coalition's call. It says our climate, people, families, and communities all need free fares, and now is the moment to make it happen. Thank you.
Okay, Josh, what box number?
9.
9. Okay, 9, Sammy, is Z. Many non-arterial routes, traffic lights prioritise moving cars over pedestrians as a default. Do they? Oh, okay.
Some places.
Do you agree with this prioritisation?
I think traffic lights should absolutely be prioritised. I think they should prioritise birds and air traffic. It's been made pretty clear tonight that one of the worst problems in Wellington is ground transportation, whether that's cars or walking or whatever. So we need to prioritise birds. And when the birds can get through, maybe it's better. I don't know. But yeah.
Well, I'd just like to sit there and say, look forward to when Zulu Kilu, which is a New Zealand registered plane, Papa India Golf, better known as a pig, sits there and lands at these traffic lights.
Hey, Sammy, how fast are we moving through these questions?
We're on our third round, so probably get to 21 at least.
Okay,
We got 12 minutes to go. Now, Alex, you get to go next.
Lucky dip, okay.
Bonus round.
Gee, that sounds like a lotto ticket.
Okay. Oh. This is 15.
15.
Yes,
Oh, the age when I got my driver's license. Hands up in the room who got their driver's license at 15.
I learned to drive at 14. My brother and I used to steal my mum's car. And that, I love the fact that I can drive a manual. It's really good. I got a lot of trouble when I was 15. Okay, radio. So it is I for India. Integrity is important to a mayoral candidate. Is it appropriate to gossip or spread rumour or leak information while mayor?
Maybe I'll repeat the answer that Andrew Little gave to a similar question on Wednesday, which is that all councillors and mayoral candidates have a responsibility to treat each other with respect, and that disagreements don't have to be arguments and they shouldn't fall out into the public realm. Is it appropriate to gossip, spread a rumour or leak information while mayor? I don't know. I'll let the audience make up their own minds on that one.
Okay, Carl, what box number?
Yeah, you.
10, please.
10. Okay, it is AA. AA. Do you think Wellington should create a household food waste collection to stop organic waste from going to the landfill?
Well, I think they voted on that yesterday anyway, but personally, I think they've made the wrong choice. I don't think it should be the council sending it across the whole of the city. I think we should be doing a referendum to find out how many people will actually use it, and then actually see if we can't find a solution that sorts people out that do want to use it. I think there'd probably only be about 25% of the population, I think, that would actually utilise it. So therefore, providing bins to the whole of the city and also increasing our rates by 2% just to service it is poor decision making. I think we could probably work with some private providers and actually give those who want it a solution without actually having to burden the whole city for very little reason.
I think Cycle is one that's already out there that's doing exactly that. Cycle.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah.
There are other alternatives. There's also a organic place that can process organic waste and turn it into soil that is modelled off a model in South Korea, where we've had a trial out at Brewtown, and it actually works. And it can convert organic waste into soil within a 2-hour period. So,
oh God,
if we
that's
don't
a very
look at
good time.
those solutions, we're silly.
Yeah. Okay, Don, what box number?
We've got up to 6 or 7, so we should try 7, 8, 9.
I think 17's gone.
8, 9.
Sorry, say
A low
again.
number like 7, 8, and 9.
What's the low number down on the Alinda? 8. Let's go for 8.
We have 8, and 8 is question K.
Question what?
Question K for kilo.
Kilo, thank you.
Okay. How do you plan to use, what's it? Deliberative democracy to ensure residents can directly contribute to the challenges of our city, faces? These are questions that people have asked. Is this right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's come off the question sheet.
I'll give you my answer.
Go ahead.
Deliberative. Well, that's a difficult word. Wellington is a sick society. Wellington is a very sick society. What's that? The Post. He blocked communication. He won't let me advertise or email or talk to the newspaper. Is that democracy? That's not good democracy. They won't. That's why I advertise in the Herald, the regional news, because the Post, naughty Post, housing brands, you cannot live forever. .com. Everlasting life has a cost. Heaven is very near. These properties, 2 cars, half the population in cars. That'll be half the petrol and electric, because petrol and electric is going to be in. And audit the call centre. Honest, straight, succinct, timely. Sign off jobs quickly. Senior. will be sacked. Fraudulent sign-off would be sacked. They don't do the job. They don't do the job.
Your time's up, Don. Hey, thank you for that. Pennywise.
Hey, what have we got there?
We have got 20. We have got 21.
All right, let's go
22.
Matahi. 21. Thank you very much.
Oh, the voting age in 1949 when my grandma first voted. It's a very good way of remembering that.
Hey.
Hey.
Should some streets in Newtown / or other heritage inner suburbs be put back into a character precinct? As an example, Green Street in Newtown, one of the oldest and continuously intact streets.
Okay. Under a Pennywise mayoralty, we're not going to need any character precincts. With a rewilding future, the entire city is going to be full of character. It might not be the beautiful Georgian villas that they call character and character precincts, but a mighty totara with beautiful manu swooping down with karere feasting on Piwaiwaka happened once in Newtown near Green Street the other day. Wow! That is plenty of character, nature at its most vibrant and sometimes really terrifying. Okay, so yeah, plenty of character, no need for character precincts. Kia ora.
Shut up. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 7 questions left, Sammy. Do you think we
7.
should just push on through?
Yeah, I think
And
we
then
can.
we do the final roll up because it's been a,
I know.
the weather's bad out
Well,
there.
yeah. Well, Kelvin is to go before we go down to the next round of questions. So let's kick up with Kelvin.
Whoa, number 24, please.
24.
Yeehaw.
Okay, that is T. T.
For Tango.
T for Tango. What do you see as the main difference between Māori landowners and hapu in terms of their relationship with Wellington City Council?
I don't really see any difference in the relationship, really. We're all one big community. We all love Wellington. We all want the best for Wellington. I can't see why there would be a difference between the different landowners. And there's already a pretty amazing relationships all around the whole region between these different landowners. I find that question a little bit confusing.
I find it very confusing.
Probably by someone who thinks there's tension there when there isn't. Possibly someone
There
who
is no
doesn't-
tension there.
Possibly someone who doesn't support Māori wards.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but it's a confusing question.
Yeah.
Pardon? Sorry, I can't hear you, darling. I'm a bit deaf.
Yeah, that's a pretty controversial question, especially if you're a Māori landowner. You know, we should all have equal rights in that regard, I believe.
So I can, I know I didn't have a button card left.
Yeah, neither do I.
I can attempt.
Yeah, so it's
Be
none
gifted
yours.
a button.
Can we give
Be gifted a
Carl
button.
big hand for
Thank you,
using
thank
the
you.
button card?
Thank you, Carl. I can attempt to answer this one, although I'm not, I don't profess to being an expert in the space. But the council operates under a treaty-based partnerships model, which recognises hapu who are mana whenua in an area and have unique rights and interests due to their whakapapa to the land and kaitiakitanga responsibilities. And that's not necessarily the same as Māori landowners who may be tangata whenua but also may not. Either way, both of these groups are still considered treaty partners, but the connection to the land, to the ancestral land, is what is the difference between mana whenua and someone who's a Māori landowner. Hapu or landowners may also be the recipients of treaty settlements, and that gives them different rights to relationship with the council as well.
I think the missing thing in here is iwi,
Iwi.
because we've gone
Yeah.
straight from Māori to hapu.
That's right.
And we've missed Stevie in
Te
between.
Tākai Here partnership
Yeah.
is with the runanga of Ngāti Toa Rangatira Te Atiawa ki Te Upoko Tika and Taranaki Whānui, which is like the big.
Yeah, no,
model.
I understand that.
But there's a
I'm
lot of
saying-
tension in the Wellington region around that, so I don't. It's not an appropriate question for me to answer, I don't think.
Okay, Josh, what box number?
23.
23.
Sorry, I have to say, it's actually Te Atiawa comes first, and then it's Ngāti Toa. Ngāti Toa is Puriroa.
You see?
Te
You
Atiawa
see?
is Wellington. For Tony, just have to say. Okay, oh. Sorry, I had to say it. Should this City to Sea Bridge be saved? Yes or no? Oh,
I'll give a yes and then I'll keep talking because that's what I'm here to do. Look, yes, ultimately, but ultimately it's not a city to sea bridge currently. It goes from one part of the city to a different part of the city. To be a true city to sea bridge, it should go out over the lagoon and then stop. That's the city to sea bridge. It takes you from the city to the sea. Otherwise it's a city to city bridge. We've got plenty of those. A city to sea bridge. You get on it, you can't get off, you go into the water. I think that's fair.
And maybe it should be called the City to Lagoon Bridge. Yes, Linda.
we've got a button.
Yes,
I think it's a third
yeah,
one, but it's okay.
Yeah, I buy in. Yeah. Yes. When I moved from Dunedin to Wellington in 2012, one of the first interesting place my daughter and I explored on the waterfront was this RT bridge. It was very impressive in my eye. The council should explore more options for the city to see bridge rather than focusing solely on demolition. Thank you.
Hey,
Hey,
we've got another button.
I've been down at the City to Sea Bridge handing out Save the City to Sea Bridge pamphlets. I'd be pretty silly to say if I didn't want to save it. I think council's saying it's 70 million to demolish it. If they give me the 70 million, I'd probably do it for that. But otherwise, I think that's a bit ridiculous to leave something that can otherwise be fixed for about 10 million.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 questions left. Again, thank you so much for all your
Okay.
participation and coming here this evening. Just want to do a shout out because it's raining outside and you guys all came in here and most of you are still here. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Don, your next box number. And it looks like they're all in the 20s.
We have got 20, we've got 22, 25, 26 and 27.
Well, 22, 22,
22?
correct?
Right. What budget line item would you remove to help bring rates down in Wellington without disrupting basic services?
I'll say you. I listened to that. I listened to that. Okay, budget item, no gamble, no alcohol, no noise, no extra noise, no Newtown fair. It's too noisy. I support items with an absolute cause. Now, rich houses and property, that's your style. Somewhere to live. And the sea bridge, I say no. Unsafe, collapse. You know the Santa kids, they jump up and down. 60,000 kids jumping up and down. The lift certificate, no lift certificate. It was called Genoa. That's where the bridge, all over the world, the bridge collapses. Overseas in Maryland, the bridge collapses. Emissions, cars, half the population and cars. The petrol and electric will end. So we don't want emissions. They come from petrol and cars and electric. Pollution. Okay.
Yeah, and your time's up, Don. Well, I think that seems to be the theme at the moment. Everyone's putting in more buttons than what they should be. So, Josh, what would the Silly Hat Party do for this?
Well, first of all, I'm running for elected office. I have to get more than I'm entitled to. But in terms of the budget line items that I'd remove to bring rates down, first and foremost, Ray Chung's council salary. I think that can go. And look, that's the main one. And ultimately, if you allow me all of the power to enact the Silly Hat Party agenda, we won't need rates. We won't need money. It'll all be chocolate fish. It'll be in the fish ponds on the side of the road. So, I mean, that's my stance there. So, effectively, getting rid of Ray's salary and getting rid of the dollar, that'll fix it.
It is a shame Ray's not here to put in a button to that comment.
Okay, we have 20, 25, 26, and 27.
Joan, you're up next.
Thank you. 26, please.
26?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Sierra. Okay, your question. Yes, that's S. S. Okay. Wellington City Council has cycleways along many arterial routes throughout the city. Is this a core function that Wellington City Council should provide or a nice to have?
Nice to have. I prefer we prioritize better and more affordable public transportation. It can carry more people than bicycles. Rain and shine. Thank you.
Okay, Cal, what box number?
20. You, that is you. Okay. Do you think the council should proceed with the $116 million Golden Mile project as currently approved? Or should you reconsult with businesses and perhaps update the design? Good question.
Oh, I love this one. I've been fighting the Golden Mile for 7 years, so it's pretty easy no for me. I don't think we need to reconsult because I've already got signatures from 95% of the businesses along Courtney Place who don't want it to go ahead. Literally, the design is awful. It doesn't fix the core problems, which are safety, cleanliness, vibrancy. It just does nothing. It removes two of the most popular bus stops along the route. It creates a literally quiet zone where it'll be very nice to hang out, but not when you want to party on a wet night like tonight. Imagine going out tonight into Courtney Place because it's got wide streets and no access. So the businesses haven't wanted it from day one. We've been fighting against it for at least 7 years. I have 2,500 signatures in my store on Courtney Place saying customers don't want it either. So it's a very, very easy. It's a waste of money. We should save it. We need to spend money doing up the street. We need to put in CCTV cameras. We need to basically make it cleaner, safer, and that will fix all the issues.
Thank you.
Okay, Alex, what box number?
Sorry? 25. 25.
Oh yes, the great year when my insurance excess comes down, I think for most young car drivers, because you're no longer young.
Romeo. Okay. Wellington City Council provides tactile,
Tactical tiles.
yeah, on footpaths to assist users, tactical tiles on footpaths, to assist users who are vision impaired to know where it's safe to cross the road and what type of crossing they are using. Is this a core function that Wellington City Council should provide or a nice to have?
You know, if I was to continue with the train of thought that the anti-cycle lane brigade rollout, which is I don't use cycle lanes and therefore I don't want to pay for them, then I think the obvious answer to this would be, well, I'm not blind and therefore I don't want to pay for tactile pavement squares that support vision-assisted people to walk around the city. Personally, I think that as ratepayers, we have a duty to make sure that the city is safe for people and that we all contribute financially to achieve that. So tactile squares on the pavement to support people who are visually impaired so that they can get around town safely as well. yes, I do think it is a core function of the council.
And can we thank my friend Kyle Little for putting that into the question box as someone who himself is visually impaired, and they are a lifesaver for him. Okay, Kelvin.
I don't think there's any questions left, Sam.
We've got one question left.
Ooh.
This is yours.
And Pennywise, you can follow up on it because you're last on the list.
Okay, L.
L for Lima.
Yeah. I understand that there has been discussions about potentially introducing commercial rates for properties operating short-stay accommodations such as Airbnb. Could you please clarify whether dual-key granny flat residential properties, where one unit is occupied as an owner's primary residence and the other is occasionally rented out, should fall into this? Would you support these types of properties being classified as commercial under the proposed commercial rates?
I don't agree with the Airbnb policy. As mayor, I would stop it. If you're in Lower Hutt, you'll be licking your lips if Wellington City Council gets rid of all their Airbnbs or tries to charge commercial rates. You can't run an Airbnb with commercial rates. It doesn't financially stack up. So when we get major events into the city, which we all want and we all love, there's going to be nowhere for anyone to stay. And in fact, in the recent All Black match, they found a lot less people stayed in the CBD. They stayed in the wider region, and there was thinking maybe that's the damage that's already been done by Wellington City Council's Airbnb policy. So, yeah, I would suggest buy an Airbnb in Lower Hutt if this policy goes ahead, because you'll make a lot of money.
Now, Pennywise.
Hey, go boy. So, down the road in Newtown, there's a demolished block of flats called the Arlington Flats. The construction was paused, and I'm just thinking here, all these people moaning about having to pay commercial rates on their Airbnbs. Well, here's a beautiful opportunity for the city council to massively increase its council housing portfolio by compulsorily renting out all these to council housing tenants. Don't worry, the income will go to the property owner, but it will be compulsorily rented out under a Pennywise mayoralty. Kia ora.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, just before we sit down there and go, I have some quick little housekeeping that goes there. It's in the ballot shows was it funded by small dollar donations, as we receive no central government funding, and we, in most situations, have received no council funding. The only council that has proudly sat there and done that so far is Mayoral District Council, and the only one that's opening their checkbook at the moment is Bay of Plenty Regional Council. Just for those who are wondering, this venue has cost us $450 to sit there and rent out for the day. We also have other costs associated with running it, such as our $14 a day for our Starlink to give us nice, uninterrupted, clear sky, high-speed internet that would work anywhere in the country, including places like Murupara. And we also have $31 that goes to Restream, which is the one that brings it off across the multiple platforms that you'll be, if you're watching from home right now, to do it. And we also have a $200 fuel budget to get our volunteers to and from their home. That's an average figure for every single, averaged out over every single day. And we leave a little small budget for refreshments of $50. So if you'd like to come with some small dollar donations to sit there and help out It's in the Ballot, that will go a very long way. And I'm sure one of our admins online could sit down there and submit the, you can do the koha without admission option, and you can put a donation on our Eventbrite link on there. So we are going to take a quick break, make sure the candidates get priority to the toilets first, and we'll see you back soon for hard-hitting questions.
Dream one destiny, who'll wear the crown in 2024, we'll see.
I'm back again, thank you. And what we want to do here is we want for the candidates to introduce themselves. So do we have a preferred, who should we start off with? I'll tell you what, let's start with, have we got the Prime Minister there anywhere? Let's start with the Prime Minister.
I am not Chris Hipkins, I am at a debate. Sorry.
Okay.
This is Michael Hill. He's not here.
My name's Hector Robertson, and I'm with Vision New Zealand. I'm here.
Hi, I'm Tony Pitteroy, and I'm with New Zealand Party.
Kia ora. I'm Chris Norton, and I'm with the Greens.
I'm not Emma Chatterton, but Emma has, in fact, submitted 2 videos, which we will see later on in the show.
Thank you very much. There you are. There is our list of candidates.
For the members' bill, so we've asked each of our candidates, you can introduce a members' bill as an MP into the biscuit tin, and it can be drawn out and potentially turned into law. So we've asked them, we're giving them 2 minutes to explain, if they're elected, what would be the first members' bill that they would introduce into Parliament. So we'll go with Bernard first.
All right. By its very nature, a members' bill is therefore is not necessarily party policy, and my members' bill is not party policy. So I'll just make that point first. What I would do is cause alcohol regulation or alcohol to be regulated in the same way that we have recommended that marijuana be regulated. That is, no branding, no advertising, available through government outlets, with limited supply at each purchase. There is a narrative that marijuana is the entry drug to all sorts of dreadful drugs. Not so. Alcohol is the entry drug and does considerably more damage than marijuana does. So I believe should be regulated in the same way. That's my view, not party policy.
Short and to the point. And Helma.
As I talked long enough about the abortion issues, people know my view. What would be my preferred private members' bill if I was elected? But that's not party policy. The private members' bills have to be okayed by, of course, by the party. I have one remit going forward that is not addressed last convention, and that is a remit to solve the housing crisis. In the Netherlands, we had a Premier A scheme for low socioeconomic people, low-income people to buy their own home. It was in the 1970s when a very left-wing MP, Prime Minister, De Nijl, brought that in. It was extremely successful. It solved the housing crisis. Then they stopped it because there were enough homes, and people, then now they want a very right-wing government, want to start this again. And that actually, to me, means that this is a very, very good policy. Premier A scheme to have a house. It is a scheme that has to be quite difficult, but you're actually buying a house with a Premier. You cannot resell it for 7 or 8 years. There is a little bit of a stick behind the door that you pay your payments, and after 6 or 7 years, you can buy in the free market and in the free sector, sorry, not free market, free sector, and the new Premier A couple can buy that house of yours, and it really solved the housing crisis. If we can really put whole Parliament put their weight behind it, we actually can solve the housing crisis, and we can bring to young people the hope to own their own home again back to New Zealand.
Back again, thank you. And what we want to do here is we want for the candidates to introduce themselves. So do we have a preferred? Who should we start off with? I'll tell you what, let's start with, have we got the Prime Minister there anywhere? Let's start with the Prime Minister.
I am not Chris Hipkins. I am at a debate. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
This is Michael Hill. He's not here.
My name's Heka Robertson, and I'm with Vision New Zealand. I'm here.
Hi, I'm Tony Pitteroy, and I'm with New Zealand Party.
Kia ora. I'm Chris Norton, and I'm with the Greens.
The stage is set, the lights are bright, candidates ready for the fight. Voices loud, they take the stand. Who will lead the promised land? The mist is flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies will take the mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Who you hear, the people's voice. It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will spin. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies will take a mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Will you hear the people's voice? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will spin. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see.
Okay, welcome back, and let's kick off for hard-hitting questions. And the button on the stream deck, please, Nick. It's on the left-hand side. Okay, let's not worry about the graphics. I tested it earlier today, but... Oh,
Hard-hitting questions. We're not gonna need to money. What does a question? Because every candidate has to answer the hard-hitting questions.
And as you can see there, we're back for hard-hitting questions. So let's kick off with hard-hitting question number one. So this is where I get to read questions. Is upzoning going to bring in more affordable houses? If so, how do you explain all the empty lots that have been upzoned for decades and nothing's been built? Isn't it about good conditions for developers to build and that they want to make money, not create affordability? Let's kick off with Pennywise.
Whoa, well, that's a surprise. Okay. Should I wait for the camera? Sweet, beautiful. So, affordable housing in Wellington. And yes, property developers are very far from saints. They're almost as bad as real estate agents, second car salesmen. They're not lovely people. But, you know what? Nah, yeah. Property developers aren't going to create affordable homes. That's really, really true. We can look at some of the builds, but the thing is that'll probably make the other one slightly less expensive, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But one of the key exciting Pennywise housing platform ideas is we're going to allow housing on all council land. It's our solution to the homelessness crisis. The one catch is that you have to build your house yourself. I mean, by hand, you're sourcing the materials, you're building your house. We're going to start on the Berrenport Golf Course as our little test ground. It's our solution to the housing crisis and a little bit of personal responsibility as well. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Thank you for that. Carl.
Yeah, so upzoning is not going to actually fix the housing crisis. I mean, we can blame the developers as much as we like, but as an independent hearing panel actually pointed out, there's too many barriers for building. You know, we have too many consents, we have too many time constraints. We take too long to do the consenting, and we charge too much for it. So we add a whole lot of cost to the developments to start with, which basically inhibits the growth of the housing stock. So rather than look externally and try and make land more available, what we need to do is we need to be more efficient in processing building consents, and we need to basically give the developers an opportunity to create something that's cheaper. By saying you have to build a 6-story building in town, all you do is you make a real expensive build, which either they can't afford to do or they have to sell their properties for a ridiculous amount of money. So you're still not actually creating affordable housing. So no, it's not going to.
Okay, Joan.
Hi. Yes, upzoning can help bring more affordable housing. However, it's not the only factor. House prices, demand, and certainty around the council's development plans also influence developers willing to build. It can be a win-win solution. The council wants affordability and developers want profit. They can meet in the middle. Thank you.
Okay, Calvin.
So in New Zealand, we have this Bible called NZS 3604 for like timber frame buildings. I don't know why that gentleman's laughing in the back there, but it's our Bible. So once we get above 3 stories, we're going to concrete and steel. And then we're going up to $12,000 per square metre as opposed to $3,500 per square metre. So until the government changes the way that we build in this country by rewriting that document, we're not going to see any affordable housing above 3 stories. It's not a reality. That's why once you get up to 6 stories, you're looking at sort of luxury apartments. That's the only way you can afford to do a development like that. So I would really encourage the government to look at that urgently. It also means we can build our high-rise 6-story buildings out of timber, which is way more environmentally friendly than using concrete and steel, and way cheaper. So let's get on and do that. I do it myself, but unfortunately I'm not quite sure how to make that happen.
Okay, Josh.
Look, if we haven't built more affordable housing now, we're not going to. So here's the way to get affordable housing. Steal it from Auckland. That's what you do. Go up there with the truck, pick up a house, bring it down here. It's cheaper than building a house. It's cheaper than buying a house. And it has the added benefit of sticking one to Auckland. So I don't see why we haven't been doing this already. That's my answer.
Okay, Don.
Quite a long time. Now, uploading is something about the property bubble, which is $1 gain. And of course, you have a lot of crypto and Tesla in this world. And communication companies, they're not fair. And this is a bit of a mindless language, this upzoning. I say straight talk. There's too many people, so less people. There'll be plenty of houses if there's less people. There's too many cars and houses, too much alcohol, noise, and gambling. And this is what the world exists for. The lotto is impossible, like Radio New Zealand is. Radio New Zealand is a bit of a gap. So, yeah, that's question one. So, so carry on the good work, Sam.
So is that you're done? Okay, Alex.
One. That's the episode.
We good to go?
I don't know. Yes, we are. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, Alex.
Two questions: housing affordability. Housing affordability is a combination of rents, rates, and house prices. Auckland's a great case study for how upzoning affects housing affordability. They implemented the unitary plan back in 2017. As a result, there was a massive increase in housing supply in the city, which took pressure off rates and off house prices. It enabled growth in the city, which then allowed pressure to come off their rates. So yes, upzoning enables affordable housing. The second part of the question, which is why have the lots that are zoned for high density housing along Newtown, whatever, not been developed for a long time? And there's two answers to that. One is because the incentive structure of our current rate system penalises or increases the rates that will be paid by the developer if they develop, and it doesn't charge them anything extra for holding the land unused. Combined with the fact that there wasn't enough land zoned for development in Wellington, what that meant was that as the population grew, the owners of that land could rely on the capital value of their properties increasing over time. They didn't have to pay more tax through developing, and they could basically earn capital gains based on population growth because there wasn't enough developable land available. And that's why I'm proposing a change to this land value-based rate system, because that removes the penalties for developing. People will build houses because their rates won't increase as a result, and it creates a direct negative cash flow for anyone who's holding land unused.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 2. Do you think party politics at the WCC should come before Wellington and its ratepayers? Let's kick off with Carl.
Again, that's a pretty easy one. Of course not. Party politics from central government should never get involved with local government policies. When someone stands for mayoralty, it's quite nice to know who's going to be making the decisions, and it's probably better if it's a Wellingtonian making those decisions rather than someone up in Auckland or someone up in Tauranga. I think it's quite simple, really. Wellingtonians should be making choices for Wellingtonians.
Okay, next up, Kelvin.
Well, I'm an independent, so I'm not big on the party politics around the council table. And if we look at some of our better performing councils, even just about around the region, we've got Porirua, and they're doing an incredible job just getting things done, not arguing with each other, not stabbing each other in the back, not screaming, not yelling, not ending up on the front page of the paper every second day. So let's get back to basics. Let's get focusing on helping Wellingtonians and making this city the greatest city in the Southern Hemisphere, which it already is, if our councillors just would behave and our mayor at the same time.
Okay, Don. Just a moment while we reconnect him.
I don't think you heard my last answer.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Do you want the first question or the second question?
Oh, do both at once.
Okay, well, I think you missed the first question. So upzone is about the property bubble. It's a dollar game, and apparently the dollars means crypto and Tesla. And the communication companies are stealing from people. This question upzoning is a bit straight talk. I'm not really straight talk. It's a mindless language, this upzoning. There's too many people and too many cars and houses. We want less population and alcohol and noise and gambling. Now, the second question, party politics. Well, party politics is all about these slogans, and they want to have a pretty face, like the Prime Minister and like the deputy, but he does not answer, he doesn't reply to messages. Okay, the candidate doesn't reply to messages. That's a problem. The electoral oath. Okay, the electoral oath. You got to be fair to constituents. You got to get fair to constituents, and they've got to reply. They've got to answer the phone, and not a garbled answer phone, which is you can't hear it. It mumbles. That's the second question. But the third question will come to that. We'll come to that in half an hour. Did you hear that one?
Yes, yes, we have heard it. Yep. So it's all good if we move on to Alex now? Yep, let's go to Alex.
My answer is clearly not. Thank you.
Okay, that was short, sharp, and quick. Pennywise.
Hey, I love parties. Parties are great. There's a fantastic party man sitting over here. In fact, I would say, if anything, we need more parties in politics. And I think those parties need to be actually proper parties, having some fun. The Pennywise party, we are a big party. We've got about 5 people, 495 to go. But we'll get there one day, and we'll form an actual party, a Pennywise political party to stand on a political party basis around parties.
Okay, Josh.
Look, Pennywise is right. We need more parties, and I believed I was. I'm clearly not the only candidate here standing for a political party. And ultimately, we in the Silly Hat Party believe that the Silly Hat Party should reign supreme over man and beast and all the fishes in the sea and everything. So ultimately, yes, as long as it's the Silly Hat Party should absolutely come first and have absolute unchecked power. And I hope that you give that to us. So yes, in short, yes.
Okay, Joan.
Hi. Absolutely not. If party politics at the Wellington City Council take priority over Wellington and its ratepayers, the city will go nowhere, just like the current situation. By nature, party interests do not necessarily align with the interests of ratepayers. So I am against the party politics. Thank you.
Okay. So let's get on to hard-hitting question number 3. I believe the most important one for the local body elections, because we've got 2 referendums to vote for at this local body elections, not one, but they ask the same question. So, what is your position on retaining the Te Whanganui-a-Tara Māori ward for Wellington City Council and the Te Upoko o Te Iki ao Māori constituency for the Greater Wellington Regional Council, and why do you hold that position? Let's kick off with Kelvin.
Yes, I think we should. I think it's a wonderful thing, and there's only one candidate for the Wellington ward, the independent candidate. So if you can vote for that candidate, please do.
Okay, Josh.
Yes. Look, talking about these wards is ultimately a distraction from things that really matter, things like better weather, things like mandating optimism, and things like digging up Courtney Place to put in the lazy river. Ultimately, the people who want to have this referendum are just trying to distract from those really important issues because they don't have an answer. So we believe in retaining them. We also believe in creating a special ward for all of those very silly people who don't believe in the Silly Hat Party agenda, so that their silly votes don't dilute the highly serious votes of the rest of Rome. So yes.
Okay, Don. Just one moment. Yep, Don.
Time?
Yep, go ahead. The cutting question number 3.
Part number 3. Now, Sam, you've done a great job, I said. I haven't got pictures. I haven't had pictures for half an hour. Now, this is a referendum, so it's not my decision only. It's your decision. And the Maori roll depends on the census. And the Maori percent is probably increased. It's a bad question. It's an important question. Do you? The thing is reasonable talk, text, and data. You must have reasonable talk, text, and data. and a fair opportunity and information to participate. So, of course, I'm very European, and the ethnic has changed a lot since the last 100 years. So, yes, but it's a binding referendum, so your vote does count. Everybody's vote counts the same, and I think they do a good job. Well, if they didn't answer a question when you asked them a question, if they didn't answer your email, it's time to get a new council. They had their time. They didn't use their time. They weren't interested in doing a fair job. I hadn't communicated with them.
Your time is up now, Don. Yep. But thanks for that answer there. Okay, Joan.
Hi. I don't understand why we need a separate word. Given the Maori people already mingle and integrate with the community and can vote just like everyone else. Why should we spend extra money on this issue? I would rather see more those funds directed towards supporting disadvantaged children, regardless of their race. Thank you.
Okay, Pennywise.
Hey, I can't really think of a joke about this. It's important that Indigenous voices be represented. But what I can think of a joke is about people arguing against it. So apparently, people voting to elect a representative is anti-democratic. And apparently people having their one vote to elect their one representative is against the principle of one person, one vote. If you can explain that, please do, because I'm very confused. Kia ora.
Kia ora. Okay, Carl.
Yeah, I'm actually voting for the Maori wards to be retained. I have no issue with elected member or guaranteeing that Maori have a voice on the council.
Woo.
And Alex.
Tiro rangatira tanga, the concept of equal partnership, is obviously enshrined in New Zealand law and the Treaty of Waitangi, is about Māori having the ability to own their own solutions. The Māori wards are an excellent way for us to enable this, and as a result, I certainly will be voting for them to be kept and campaigning for that.
Okay, well, it looks like there's your views from the candidates on where they stand on the Māori wards referendum. Okay, let's get time for closing statements of why you, the voter, should give the candidates here their first preference vote. And Joan, you get to go up first.
Is that me?
Yes, that's you.
Hi. I understand how difficult it can be to be heard. As a mother, I have home problem-solving skills, learn to manage stress, and find ways to make things work. When challenges go beyond my expertise, I know how to ask for help and listen. I also bring a broad range of skills and knowledge, including international trade, international banking, NGOs, and technology that I can apply in my work as mayor. Vote for me. I'm your superwoman. Thank you.
Okay, Carl.
Yeah, okay, so I probably am the best candidate here, probably the best candidate of the lot, actually, to be honest. I bring a financial background, I bring a business background. I literally want to make the council respect ratepayers more, be more transparent, have better integrity, and deliver what they should. And that requires a lot of business experience of how the city operates and also how a company should operate. And at the end of the day, the council is simply a company that does its job is to do the best for us it possibly can. And yeah, so that's me.
Okay, Don. And make sure you maximize Don's picture on there, please. I'll show you how.
About Donald MacDonald, Tokawengawa, or Macdon Waiting, Macdon Newt. Please vote Donald, Mayor Wellington and Southern Ward. My strengths. Now, we found out I'm zero honest, but everybody else is minus a million. So they can't do better than me. The next council will equal me. I am expert to compare large numbers. And Sudoku. Aotearoa, 8 letters. Don communities, I stand for a log job. Fix answer, do the right. Honest, timely, succinct. They don't do that. Proper sign off. Senior, but nothing. They don't do anything. So we got rid of them. 8 times I was a candidate. While the council never gave a clear answer. Refused. They refused OIA. I called OIA. Official information. Donald Straight. Don't assume they did it because you know they didn't. They didn't do the water. They didn't do the park. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything else. Challenge what backwards growth. Petrol cars and electric will all end. The roads will wipe out pedestrians. Phone allowance is very important for age 16. Reasonable talk, text, data, so you can participate. If you haven't got data, you can double. The counter, okay, here's your appointment. Enough to live on. Samaritan and community centres. Carry on. I will spell Sudoku. Phone me 845 900, my number. Go Donald McMillan. Thanks to Second Coming Mother God. Spirit and bride, water of life.
Just to say your time's up, Don. Thank you for that, Don. Okay, Kelvin.
Well, thank you for having me here tonight. As I said at the beginning, I've been here for 3 years. I sat in the seat 3 years ago. I think Ray and I are the only 2 mayoral candidates left from 3 years ago. I'm a community leader. I started predator-free Crofton Downs here in our local community, which was New Zealand's first predator-free community that was scaled up across the whole of New Zealand. Predator-free has the potential to shave off 15% of our carbon by offsetting. So I really want predator-free Wellington to continue, and I'd like to see a predator-free Greater Wellington and an amalgamated Wellington, so we can do all of these things wonderfully better and more focused. We have over-representation in our region. We need to get that sorted. So that's why I'm here. I've also got a background in technology, IT, virtual reality. I took an idea through New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, and it won International Bloomberg Award for Best Idea during COVID. And I also have a degree in design, majoring in construction. So I've got a pretty good idea when it comes to large infrastructure projects. I've worked on large rail, road, large urban design projects around the world. So I think all of those things, apart from that, I'm also a musician, recording artist, and used to be a music promoter and put on live shows. I think all of those things would make me a great mayor, because Wellington is the greatest city in the world, but we've just forgotten that. There's no better other city to live in than Wellington. We love it, and we need to make it better. So let's do that. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Josh.
What I need from you is total unchecked power. That's how we're going to move forward. Look, we've heard some very silly ideas. You know, Alex says they're more like Hamilton. I don't want to live in Hamilton. You know, Kelvin says we need to amalgamate. I want maximum distance from the hut. I want to be as far away from there as I possibly can.
Nice.
I am the future. I am the only option for the future. You know, Kelvin just said he's run before. He's been rejected by.
I'm a loser.
Before,
is that what you mean?
and he'll be turned away again in favour of me. And Don's been running since before I was born. I just want to say that. Look, the only serious candidates here tonight are myself and Pennywise. Woo! And look, so what I'm asking you to do is put me number 1, put Pennywise number 2, and after that, close your eyes and do whatever you want with the rest. If you want good weather, if you want an optimistic city, if you want a city where it's illegal to not have fun, if you want a city where the fun police will enforce that fun, vote for me and vote for better weather. Vote for a highly serious future. Thank you.
Okay, Alex.
You know, I have experience in leadership, financial management, housing, city infrastructure, and climate change management. These are the key issues that are facing our city, and I believe that we should elect a leader who has experience dealing with those issues. I understand the challenges that are facing Wellington, and I understand the roles and responsibilities and the levers that the council has at its disposal to resolve those challenges, and I have an actionable strategy to turn them around. Ko Maria.
Okay, Pennywise.
Carl, hold my balloon. The Pennywise campaign and the Josh Harford campaign are beautiful oases in the middle of an otherwise featureless, bland desert, largely moaning about the expense of doing stuff and building stuff. With this in mind, I've written this brief song about one of these issues. There's been some moaning about toilets with rainbows. This the council might well know. It could be the cynic inside me which is thinking this outrage is really for show. But there is one awful thing with these toilets, and it is the company. Damn these Exeloos which play toneless music at you when you just want to pee. If you vote Pennywise, well, turn these toilets into beautiful composting loos. To rewild our future, when you vote Pennywise, you know that Wellington can't lose. Kia ora koutou, Paul Marie.
Okay, so thank you to our candidates who participated. Now, the great news is, I'm going to give a little bit of explainer how STV works. We've been using it for such a long time, we should all know it. But with the mayoral race here, whoever gets the top job will have 50% of the vote plus one after all the redistributed votes. So please make sure you rank your candidates to make sure you get the best use out of your vote, because your second and your third and your fourth preferences will be equally as important to the redistribution as your first. So that's just my advice there. Can I say and give a big round of applause to our audience, our candidates here for making tonight work, our audience, our crew here of Linda for being my question host for the night, for Ray, who has been operating the cameras for the night, for Nick, who has been operating the broadcasting computer for the night, our remote editor, Stacey, for running things in the background and making sure the name chyrons all pop up. And also thanks to Adam, Alfie, and Jonathan, who were film students who have come down to explore how you run a live stream on the smell of an oily rag. So for those who... What? Get out quickly before we go off live, because the cameras need to be used at 9 o'clock for someone else. Grab a microphone, otherwise those at home can't actually see you. Or they can't hear you.
Stand uncomfortably close. Kia ora. I just wanted to give a quick chat about Māori wards, what they are and why we support keeping them. As voters, you will be asked at this election, as well as the candidates, as we mentioned earlier, whether you support keeping Māori wards. So what I really hope that you can take away from this is what Māori wards are and why we need to vote to keep them. So I'll tell you a bit about them, why they're important, and then how you can do that. What are Māori wards? Māori wards, they're a seat at the council table voted for by Māori to ensure there is a Māori voice and perspective in decision making. So why is that important? Well, without them, Māori as a minority group often end up underrepresented on councils. And we can see that the councils have already voted to create this themselves. So the people at the decision-making table have recognised that they would be making stronger, better decisions if they had a Māori representative at the table with them. And of course, it is also a step towards partnership that is enshrined in one of our founding documents as a country, Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Now, how can you vote to support Māori wards? Well, that bit's really easy. You have to make sure that you're enrolled, which I'm sure you already are if you're sitting here tonight. And when you get your papers, there will be a separate one from the candidates asking whether you support keeping Māori wards, and so you just need to tick, yes, I want to keep them to support this important democratic tool. So I hope you feel informed and excited to decide together, drive together, vote to keep Māori wards. Kia ora.
Okay, and just for those who want to know, Ray, can you please move the camera onto Ray, who's right behind you? So Mr. Chung, can you please move it on to Mr. Chung? And I'd just like to say, Ray has made it tonight. I hear you've had a very busy night, and they managed to interfere with your council duties and interfered with your mayoral campaign. But thank you for showing up to help us pack down at the end of the night there, Ray. So glad for you to be here, and hopefully your muscles will come very handy very soon. Okay. Okay, so for those, so tomorrow we will be coming live from Fielding. So if you want to sit there and watch the Horizons Regional Council and the Manawatu District Council candidates, join us tomorrow back at 1 p.m. From us, have a good evening.